Alrighty, guys, we're live. Hopefully you're moving and grooving. This morning, we got Monica Quitiva. This is a special live stream. We got Monica Quitiva. We've got Judy Galindo. We've got maybe Ashley Margot. We've got maybe Chris Sauber. Who knows? But we're here to talk about really like what happens after you do a training of any kind. We'd like that it's our training, but any training, even if it's a self training. Let's say you watched some videos on YouTube or read a book. I don't know. There's a good one, couple good ones out there. Self training, what happens next? And I think right now who you see on the screen, well, you see me and Monica. Judy's here as well. Trust us, she's here. You can't see her. Judy, are you there? Can you confirm? Judy is here. So
Yes, I'm
uh
here. I'm
these
here.
are these are three site owners. One of the things we talk about are starting out at the small site. All right, so that's one of the things we're going to discuss. But really, it's like what happens after you do training, because a lot of people, even the ones who take our courses, like we try to steer them in the right direction. We actually have real internships that they do: CRA Academy, CRC Academy, soon to be Data Manager Academy, and the Clinicians Academy. So we kind of guide you. We provide you structure for after the courses, but it's still up to you to do a lot of the things, and especially if you're not in one of our courses, it's really up to you. The worst thing you want to do after you finish any kind of course or learning is to learn something else. Like, just get started doing something. And as three site owners, myself, Monica, Judy, who are on right now, I'll tell you, we would love for people to reach out to us and say, hey, I want to help you out. I don't mind doing it as an internship, volunteering. But we don't want to hear that, because we know that 9 out of 10 of those people are not going to do anything. They're just going to be a time suck on us, an energy drain. So you have to make your job as the candidate is to make the employer think that that's not you. And there's a couple things we could discuss, but business development's one, helping sites get studies, helping sites manage their social networks, helping sites, even if you're local, there's a lot more you can do. If you're virtual, there's a lot you can do as far as creating source, helping create source. If the site's using eSource, eReg, if the site's not using that, you can help set up their Viva Site Vault, which is free for eReg. It's up to the site whether they want to use it or not. It's up to the candidate, you, to decide, hey, Viva Site Vault is free. I know 95% of sites don't use it. I don't know. Maybe there's a connection here between me filling in this gap. So that's just like several of many examples that we're going to get into. But I could go on forever on this just by myself. But we have Monica, we have Judy. You guys, what do you think about this?
Well, hello everybody. Happy 2023. This is the first time I'm live in this year. So I know you have been receiving a lot of Happy New Year greetings, but this is the first one for me.
I'm ready for
uh,
2024. We're already working on 2024, guys.
yes, we are. We are already. I think, I mean, once you finish a class, obviously you have a lot to take in, right? I usually recommend the students to go over the whole training again, just to check the notes, to review the recordings, to go and review the modules, just to refresh all that information and prepare yourself for an interview, or even to go and volunteer somewhere. You want to have some sort of assurance that you know what you're talking about. And obviously, if you have completed a training, you have more knowledge that somebody that does have no idea about research. So you need to put the balance, the this in the balance in the positive side, right? So educating is a very important part of getting a job. So let's say you go and start knocking doors around the area where you live and looking for an even a volunteer opportunity in any of these sites. You want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. Let's say if you decide that you want to volunteer doing patient recruitment, educate yourself about it. Go online and look for videos. Look for Dan has lots of videos about it. Actually, Dan and I did many videos about recruitment in the past. You can go and take a look about it. Um, and obviously, if you took one of our classes, go and review those specific classes about that and prepare yourself for that. Um,
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
go and take a look online for how the protocols look like.
You have to
Review a
think outside the
protocol.
box. You got to think outside the box. There's probably 50 things we could discuss, and we're going to go break it down one by one. So, the first one, let's do recruitment, patient recruitment slash site branding. I think it's one of the easiest things to do. It's one of the things that sites can appreciate the most because every site has problems with it. And before Judy needs to leave, I wanted to get her take on this. But both of you guys, you're site owners, okay? Monica's a site owner in Santa Monica, California. Judy's a site owner in Imperial, California. I'm a site owner in Yuma, Arizona. All right. Hypothetical, okay? Somebody approaches you, Monica, says, "Hey, I just watched a whole bunch of videos on clinical research. I'm really interested in pursuing a career. As you know, um, experience is everything. I don't have it. However, and I can't afford CRC Academy. I wish I could. Maybe I will later. But I know you have a site in Santa Monica, and I've already planned to create a YouTube channel interviewing local businesses in Santa Monica, and I'm willing to have your site be the sponsor of my YouTube channel for free as long as I could get some experience from there. So if you get any pay, and I will do all the work. I'm gonna go out, interview people. We can post it on your Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram, I'll make one for you. All right. You don't have a Facebook, I'll make one for you. Would you just be honest, both of you guys, would you say yes or no to this person?
Well, the answer obviously is yes, but I would love to see their CV to
Yeah,
to
me
know
too.
what's their background or which people or who is this person that is offering. Right? I would love to see their CV. So that's the first thing that you might want to work on in a very good CV, and and that's something important. Obviously, this goes along with your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, make sure to create one, and that LinkedIn should be matching your CV. Um, and probably even work a little bit on your social media stuff because a lot of, I mean, probably I won't go and look on your social media besides looking at your CV and your LinkedIn, but some organizations will do, many another clinic will do. So make sure you have your social media also put it together. How
All right,
about you,
what
Judy?
yeah, what about you?
Yeah, so I think it's very similar to Monica. I would want to know what that person's background, what did they do before, what experience do they have in general, before they got into clinical research. That fact that they took any training is already a huge initiative, a good step forward. And each of our sites are different. We have different needs. For me, I wouldn't need that need, but what I do need is a pre-screener recruiter, somebody who could pre-screen all the referrals coming in daily. We have a ton of referrals. My staff is behind. I'm actually looking for someone part-time, in person preferably, but remotely could work. So those are my needs,
Ah,
and that's an
I have
easy
one.
job to do, but it's very hard to train someone too at the same time. But it's also an entry level job. So it's a perfect place to start, and then you move up from there into other positions. So it just depends on the site needs. But for me, I haven't posted this job. I have a few potential candidates, but there's other sites like me that have openings that haven't posted it. So you reaching out to a site could be the perfect time when they were going to look for a candidate. And guess what? you got lucky, they might take a chance on you. They might bring you on. They might, if you volunteer or intern for a little bit, then they could hire you on. I've had interns start with me and then I hired them on a few months later. So that happens all the time.
Yeah, now that Judy mentioned about the sites no um offering the jobs, usually sites don't post jobs in any social media or any area. So if you want to find a job in a small clinic, the best thing that you can do is go and knock the door. Even
Hmm.
better than just sending an email, because oftentimes we receive many emails. It could go to the spam folder. If you go face to face and introduce yourself and bring your CV, that's a totally different story.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times we'll get candidates who email us, but if you show up, you're at the top of our pile because you came in
Yes,
person. And maybe we're hiring, but at that day we can't look at it, but we'll get back to your CV the next couple of days. And guess what? You're the first one that we're going to consider because you came in person.
exactly.
Okay, so that's the social media patient recruitment. What about if they're local and they come in and they say, "Hey, you know what? Like, I know most of your studies have flyers that the sponsor made. I will happily, I will gladly pass these out in the community, doctors' offices, parking lots. Parking lots of doctors' offices is amazing to pass out flyers. I will do this for you. I just want the chance to volunteer on some studies, shadow, so I can add things to my resume. If you like me, obviously I'd love to work for you, but if not, this way I can at least get some experience so I could go apply somewhere."
Yeah, of course. The same. I will say the same. Obviously, like I say, for any of these opportunities, the first thing that you want to do is your CV and work on your LinkedIn. Okay. Now, on top of that, if you know for a fact that, let's say, you have a special, a therapeutic area of your preference, I will have some sort of knowledge on that. If you don't have it already, so read about that specific therapeutic area, inform yourself, and get more knowledge about it. Besides the research part, get more knowledge about the therapeutic area of your interest or the clinic that is around you, which specialties they have, and get some knowledge about it.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree with Monica. And actually, that's funny, Dan, you brought that second position up because that's what I'm actually training one of our newest staff to do. Literally, she's going to go to every clinic and just see if she can leave flyers in their waiting area, front office. She post them in the office, like whatever they let us do, because a lot of doctors will. And that's a first step, and then various organizations. So that's something we're going to do. If somebody came in my office offering to do that, I would hire them right away to do that because that's
hire.
something I need.
You would
I mean,
hire them.
I hire because I'm actually going to pay a part-time research assistant already to do this. So
Who's gonna drive to Imperial, California,
no,
guys?
someone local, a local person. If it was a local person that came and reached
Okay,
out,
gotcha,
like a college student, someone part-time going to school who has some time,
gotcha.
that's definitely a need. I need probably a lot of offices, and I would, you know, intern, hire, whatever, but I need that ASAP.
I,
You
I
know,
would like to mention something on top of that. Besides volunteering and doing a specific part, you should always go a mile ahead. Always. Always is somebody looking at you. Okay. Even if you think no one is looking, there is always somebody looking at you. So if you go a mile ahead and say, for example, after you finish your volunteering part, and then you go to the clinic and maybe you see the CRC or the CTA doing some work, and you may offer yourself to help them. Hey, do you need something? May I help you with anything? And shadow them, because that's the way you're going to be learning more and more and more and more, or get more experience on every area, right?
so these are good strategies, but I already know. And put your comments, guys. We'll get to everyone's comments. I already know there's gonna be people saying, "Well, I have a master's degree. I don't feel like I should be passing out flyers." They're not gonna tell you that, but this is what's going on in their head. So there are, all right, there are some other things you can do, like clinicaltrials.gov is a free tool. So here's another hypothetical, all right, Monica and Judy. What if somebody reached out to you? Um, let's say they're virtually or in person, doesn't matter. And they said, hey, you know what? I will go on clinicaltrials.gov and I will find study leads for you that you can potentially work on. I won't contact them. I'm going to send them to you every week, like consolidate them. And then if you want me to reach out to them, you can give me like a little paragraph on how to send it, and I'll just do this every week for you. In exchange, I just want to put on my resume that I helped you out in your site. Is this attractive to you, Monica and Judy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Exactly.
So we found three things so far. So let's keep going. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I have another one.
All right. You do it. You can ask me. And then Chris is here. Chris, you're like Judy. You're not gonna be on camera, but okay. We got two people not on camera, two people on camera. So welcome. All right. Keep it going. Chris is another site owner. So let's go. We can ask him too.
Okay, so the next one I will also suggest is learn or masterize how to create source documents.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
And I tell you what, when you masterize that part, let's say you create a source document for a study, then you can go on clinicaltrials.gov and take a look of all the sites that have the same study. So if you can offer all of them the source documents. So you're not gonna be working only for one, but for many, and you're expanding all of a sudden all your opportunities.
I would say yes. However, as a site owner, I wouldn't be naive enough to trust that what they're making is correct.
Of
But
course.
just the fact that you're willing to help, because oftentimes with source, whether it's e-source or on paper, the hardest part is just getting it started. Once it's
Hmm.
started, for me as like a site owner or whoever, I can go through it. It's a lot easier for me to go through it and then make edits. But just getting it to template form is enough. And then could be somebody that I train. Matter of fact, one of our interns, who's Daniel Torres, one of our CRC Academy graduates, has been doing that for Yuma Clinical Trials on our eSource. And I know Judy had a previous student of ours who did the
Yeah.
same thing.
Correct. That's how I started her. It was a CRC graduate as an intern at our office, and that was actually the first thing I started her on. I give them a basic training. We use a template we already have, and they kind of go through and modify it, show them how to do it. And then they create all the paper source, and then they go and create the electronic source. We always have the backup because we've had issues, technology, sometimes the internet's not working, so we need the backup. So that's the first thing she learned. Now, she no longer works with me, and she actually works full time as a research coordinator at a clinic in her area where she lives. But she worked for me for over about a year and a half. And actually, the next call I have to jump off right now is another CRC graduate that I will actually be training right now on how to create source doc and then
Oh,
eSource at 8:30 because I just hired her.
bring her on this live stream. Let's talk.
Yes,
I need to
I
get her
know who
trained
she is.
first.
Get her trained. Get her trained, and then we'll have Chris ask her questions.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
well, thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Chris, would you hire this hypothetical?
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Hire who?
Okay, Chris wouldn't hire this person. All right, next hypothetical. Candidate says, "Hey, Monica,
Well,
I
what's
know
the purpose
you're
of this meeting?
Chris. We are live. There are 1,000 people watching right now. Live. We're live streaming right now.
So people are asking questions and
Yes.
we're answering them.
The purpose is what do you do after you train yourself, whether it's one of our academies, whether it's one of our competitors' academies, whether it's just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, whether it's reading our book, right? What do you do after that to actually apply it to getting yourself a job?
Okay.
And we went through a whole bunch of patient recruitment stuff. That's the easy, low hanging fruit, right? Which people are still not doing, by the way. And it's the easier, low hanging fruit because most sites have problems with that. The next thing was,
That's actually
The next thing was
How
getting
I
studies.
started.
Yeah, the next thing was getting studies. What about this one? Chris, this one's perfect for you and for Monica. Here's a
Okay.
hypothetical. A person reaches out to you and says, "Hey, I know you're a site owner. I really want to work in this space. I've self educated. I've read your book. I can't afford the academy. I'm saving up for it. But in the meantime, I want to get research experience on my resume by shadowing for you guys. But I know you don't want to just bring in anybody because that's a waste of your time. I know you guys do CNS studies, central nervous system disorder studies. I know you guys need raters, psychometric raters, which are advanced degree holders. I'm very proficient with LinkedIn. I will find PhD level and above people on LinkedIn that I could put you in touch with that maybe you could work out a deal to where they could be raters for you. I'll do this for you for free. I just want, if you like what I'm doing, to be given a chance to intern. What do you say to this person?
Uh, uh, of course, and I'm sure Chris and Judy will say the same.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
They're
might
tough.
even pay them depending on how desperate I am.
Chris will even pay. Chris, the easiest one on here.
Depending on how desperate, sure.
Okay. So that's another strategy. So, and we can do 50 more of these, and that it'll be fun to do. And you guys put your questions. If you put questions, we're going to get to all the comments right now. So put questions. If you have more ideas or if you have more specific questions, well, Dan, so far, the 15 things you mentioned sound good, but here's why I haven't done it. Put that too. I want to see. Or if you're a side owner watching, put what else you would like to see. But I guess the greater question, the more macro question is, why haven't people done these things yet? Why do people not approach sites with these um, offerings? Because most of the time, people approach site owners with sometimes it's just a resume attachment to an email with no subject or email body. Why do they do that and not the former?
Because they don't prepare, they don't plan, they don't strategize the job search. I mean, if think about it, it's your whole career that is here, your future. You need to strategize that. You need to sit down and make sure how I'm going to start, which things I'm going to be looking at, how I'm going to get prepared for this, how I am going to approach these people. It's not just sending a CV. I mean, obviously, that's the first thing that you want to do. Write a strong resume, a strong CV, and obviously strategize your job search or the volunteering part search, because that's what is gonna take. That's what is gonna make you stand out of the crowd. Otherwise, we'll receive many CVs all the time, and sometimes, like Dan says, without even any information in the
The
email.
other day, Judy just sent me a text example of a screenshot. She says, I hate this. I can actually find it, but she left. Too bad she left. But she said something like, can you believe this? Somebody just sent me an email, no subject, no introduction text, just a CV, just a resume attachment to the email. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Chris, why do people not approach with the strategies we offer here?
I don't know. Sometimes people are shy, they're negative. I don't know.
Mm. So basically, we've got to change that mentality. So here's a question. Okay. Is it only for CRC or you guys help to get into CRA as well? We help get into anything. CRA Academy, we have a class starting at the end of January. We have a CRC Academy. We have a Clinicians Academy. We're coming out with a whole bunch of other academies. The point of all this is, Huma, everything starts, I think, at the site level. It doesn't mean everyone's career starts at the site level, but I think the majority of skill set you can build starts at the site level, and you can build on your experience fastest at the smaller site levels. So these strategies work. Ernie says lack of confidence. That's a good one. how do we fix people's confidence? I don't know. We'll get into that. We'll get into that, and we'll get into more of the questions right now. So put your questions in there. What do you think, Monica?
To build the confidence is, I mean, we're scared of things or the unknown, right? So the best way to go around that is to get educated. As
Chris
simple as
Chris
that.
wrote a very good book called The Comprehensive Guide to Clinical Research. If you don't believe it, he's right here. All right. He wrote. If you guys don't know what Chris looks like, because he doesn't have his camera on,
Mm.
there you go. That's Chris. All right. This is an approachable guy. You go to San Bernardino, find his clinic, and approach him and say, Chris, I watched your live stream. I know you need help getting raters. I know you need help passing out flyers in the community. I know you need help. Here's another one, right? Let's say somebody's listening and they said, hey, you know what? I like all these strategies, but I still don't like it. Okay, well, what about introducing sites to other clinicians in the community? All right, you can use that via LinkedIn. I have Chris and Monica. You guys both know Andrew Young, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, I just had a conversation with Andrew last week, and he is Monica. Actually, I have to put you in touch with him. He's putting
Okay.
together uh, a monthly or a quarterly. He's not sure yet. Meeting where he's inviting medical science liaisons in Los Angeles area. So MSLs, like pharma rep bosses, the people deciding to give studies. He's inviting MSLs and community clinicians and site owners to like this meeting or quarterly mixer in LA. It's for like regional people. So what if you are a job seeker in Des Moines, Iowa, and you want to do the same thing there? Hey, I'm creating a mixer every month. We're inviting sales reps, researchers, clinicians to network with one another. I'm willing to make your site, because I know you're the site owner, the sponsor for free. In exchange, I just want experience on my resume. What if somebody approached you with that um, as an offering? What do you say to that?
Yes, of course I will say yes.
What about Chris?
Sure.
Chris just says sure. All right, so you guys look. We're asking real site owners. It's not just me like shooting from the hip and answering my own questions. All right, these are things that work. These are things that will get your foot in the door. And by the way, this is like this one I just mentioned, and the other one about what was the other one? I care. Oh, BizDev. All right, if you don't feel good about passing out flyers in parking lots, maybe you'll feel better about this one. Maybe your master's degree is more suited for this because you're talking to medical science liaisons now. You know, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter what degree you have, but maybe this one's a better one for you. Here's another one, right? This one's a little trickier, but there's still sites that would say yes. Hey, Monica. Hey, Chris. I noticed you guys don't use eReg. I know Monica does, but Chris, this one's better for Chris, right? You ready, Chris?
Okay.
Okay. I noticed your site doesn't use eReg. That's okay. I understand. It's slow adoption. Don't feel bad, Chris. 95% of sites don't use eReg either, so you're not alone. But Chris, I will create a Viva site vault for your site for free. You give me any documents you want me to upload, I'll organize it for you. And you don't even have to use it. We can just have it as a backup in case you ever want to switch. Just rest assured, I've been maintaining it for you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that when we create a Viva site vault for you, which by the way is free, you get your site gets put on a list that sponsors get to see about which sites use it. I'll maintain this for free. All I need is like you to help me out here and there with giving me documents to put, or if it's easier for you, I could come in once a week and do it, or even once a month. In exchange, I just want to be able to put this on my resume that I've done it, and it'll modernize you. If you're worried about updating your SOPs, I can get the SOP templates from Viva and customize it for your SOP as to your liking. What do you say to this offer?
Yes, sounds great. I'll let you know.
Okay, so sounds great. I'll let you know. Sounds great. I'll let you know, but that's just one site. Okay, so now you do what you just said to Chris to like 20 other sites. And this is
I,
something you actually can do remotely. You don't even need to be in person.
I would like to add to that
Okay.
because obviously regulatory is a sensitive or more is a critical part, right? So
Hmm.
you need to show that you know about research about the regulatory. So again, educate yourself about it. Uh, there are many we have done many videos about it with Dan too, and Dan has many videos about that too. And obviously, if you went through our any of our classes, you will learn a lot about regulatory, which, by the way, is a whole career. If you make it, if you masterize that, if you develop a knack for it, if you really love doing it, that's a whole career.
Yep. Okay, so we went through patient recruitment. We went through a little bit of biz dev. We went to, there's another thing you can do. So, I mean, we're just giving this one I just came up with right now. You approach the sites. This is works better if you're local. You approach the sites in your area. You kind of can figure out what kind of studies they do. If you can't figure out the exact studies, sometimes sites put the exact studies that they're working on their website. Sometimes you can find it on clinicaltrials.gov, but you can at least find what kind of studies they do. And you can get a good size for how many studies they have. So you can approach someone like Monica or Chris and say, "Hey, Monica and Chris, I notice you guys do a lot of CNS studies. I'm happy to take your flyers to local support groups for schizophrenia or for depression. I'm also happy to take it to other community events like NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, and just pass out your flyers. I don't mind being an advocate for research. In exchange, I just want to be able to put that I work as an intern for you guys in the patient recruitment realm. And if you like me, I would like to be able to help with other things like filing and data entry if you can ever afford another position. What do you say to this person?
Yes. I
Chris?
actually
Is this a yes or a no from Chris?
Sure.
See, it's easy, guys. You can do this. So, what were you going to say, Monica?
I was gonna say something else. Also, let's say, for example, if you're very good with social media, you could offer exactly the same, but doing it in social media, like posting flyers or stuff in the Facebook. Let's say the clinic doesn't have a Facebook presence or LinkedIn presence or Instagram. You can create the whole presence of this clinic creating postings and put it all the time about the studies that they are doing. Obviously, if there is no advertisement approved by the IRB, it has to be more generic, right? So creating the presence, reaching out to the Facebook team groups. Let's say this clinic is doing an Alzheimer's study. Then you're start looking for the Alzheimer's groups in Facebook and make the post of this in this, so you can offer that to the clinic if you don't have time to go and do it in person, like reaching out or doing this these connections for the clinic. You could do it also in social media.
Absolutely. You can even take it, thank you, Monica. You can even take it a step further and say, hey, I know you probably have, for all the studies you probably have IRB approved flyers that you're not using. I'll put your site info there that you want me to, and I will make landing pages for you on, if you want, I can do it on your website, or I can just do it on Facebook groups and things like that. Instagram,
Hmm.
Facebook groups, even TikToks. I can make TikToks for you. Um,
And if you want to go a mile ahead, You will also offer them to maybe put your contact information and get the list of the potential patients and send it to the clinic, and or even create, ask them for the pre-screening questions if they have any pre-screening questions. If they don't have it, you're pushing them to do it, and on top of that, you're showing that you actually kind of know about the research, right? But it's important that you prepare yourself, that you educate yourself. So let's say, for example, go and take a look of protocols online. There are many protocols that are available for the public that you could go and take a look and understand the pre-screening process, uh, and take a look. And I actually have a book about it. So if you want to go also and take a look of my book. Hmm.
So we talked about recruitment, branding. I think there's a lot just there. Um, Finding studies, or at least pointing sites in the right direction of studies, creating source, helping them set up their e-reg, um, helping connect them to clinicians in the community, helping, what else did we discuss? Oh, finding raters for psychiatric trials. Um, I mean, if you make yourself like a connector, somebody who basically the theme of this is if you make yourself somebody who helps first and then asks for something later, most people will say yes. Like most people like Monica, most people like Judy, most people like Chris. You know, reciprocity is real. Like they're humans. So they would just say yes for most of these if they're reasonable and they think it's realistic. There's all another thing to this too. It's not just you saying that you're going to do it, you have to be believable to them. So, that's the whole another part where that's where you can control. So let's go through some of these questions. We've got Michael Loftus. No, not in San Fran. No, I used to go once a month, but not there. Nadia, how's it going? Patty, always document what was read, version, date, etc. That's actually a good one. So with eReg comes a new set of problems. I was with my coordinator yesterday, and we have, for our staff, we have a bunch of versions of CVs because anytime somebody does a new study, we have to re-sign and re-upload their CV, but we don't delete anymore from EISF. Like we just put the new version. If these new versions of documents are not titled properly, so there's no way to tell if it's new version or not, like they're called naming conventions of documents, you can help sites figure out how to keep track of what's new, what's most current, because these are the newer problems sites are having with eReg, right? And Viva Site Vault does a lot of this on default, but you can just, it doesn't hurt to double check. Okay, is it the latest version? Are they labeled properly? Do you have a certain naming conventions? And you could be that person to troubleshoot and maybe rename documents in the EISF. Maybe the coordinator's too busy, but you can create an SOP for that and rename. That's something else. Like that's like advanced. But if you approach a site and say, "Hey, I can help you do these kind of things too," they're gonna say, "Wow, this person knows what they're talking about. We might want to, even though we don't need them, we might want to make room for them because people like this don't just fall out of trees." Uh, okay. Greetings from Memphis, Tennessee. Chris, you're still buying that house in Tennessee?
And
Uh,
at this point, no.
okay. Goodness says Happy New Year.
Oh, happy New Year.
Praveen says greetings from India. Happy New Year. Hey, we're working on something. Greetings from Maryland. Here's one. I'm planning to open a site and I'm communicating with a doctor to become my PI. It sounds like me and Chris's next call at the top of the hour. Um, I am plan. Are there any websites where the doctor can get a free or cheaper GCP certification?
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes all you gotta do is Google GCP training. They're out there. Yes. Lots of free FDA.gov training. Thank you, Patty. I don't think I've ever been to this website,
Yeah,
FDA.
I have Yes.
You have? Chris, have you?
Yeah.
FDA.gov? I've never been there.
FTA.gov.
I guess there's a lot of free training there for researchers.
Yeah,
There
I
you
think I
go.
was there for some reason. Can't recall why.
Well, there you go. I learned. Thank you so much, Patty. I learned something new. Here's Dr. Villegas. I do have experience in intramural academic clinical research. I'd like to know more about how to start my own independent site. Wow.
Wow.
So, lucky for you,
Yes.
me and Chris, there's two ways you go about it. We have a clinicians academy, right? Which you should look into. And if you're not ready to commit to that right now, that is our most expensive course. I'm putting the link right now for the website um, on my blog, thecolongotrailsguru.com. There's a tab called Looking to Start a Site. Chris and I do like a 2 hour. There's so many people would charge you like thousands for these two videos. Chris and I did. Chris and I literally locked ourselves in a room. We didn't even
No
let the
food or
PI,
water.
no food or water. We didn't even let the PI come in. And she gets angry if you don't let her do certain things. She couldn't come in. We had to basically put ourselves in a dungeon to record these videos for you guys. It's 2 hours. Everything you need to know about starting a site. And not from a theoretical academic textbook level. No, like how do you find the actual space? How many square feet do you need? This is the stuff. What kind of fridge do you need? This is what we discussed. So go right here. This is an underrated part of my website.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
connect with us, doctor. Connect with us. We'll be more than happy to help.
Yes. Now let's keep going through more of these. Wow, a lot of comments. Have someone picky review the CV, not mom or friends. Ashley Margot.
Yes.
She's definitely one.
Thank you for
Okay.
those posts, Patty.
Jesse Molina from Chicago. Uh, Patty says, don't be creepy, but do look up folks you will interview with and the area, clinic disease. Absolutely. If you go into an interview and you don't know what kind of studies they do, I mean, you should know. You should know based on their website. You should know based on their social media footprint. Most sites do have like a Facebook or an Instagram where they advertise their studies. Most sites put on their website what kind of studies they do. You should know
and,
these.
and the background of the people that is actually interviewing you. I remember I went and I took a look about Dan, Chris, and everybody.
Hmm. If you don't do that, it's a red flag. So 17 years in research, 10 in oncology. So Diana says, great idea. This is why we do this, all right? We do this because it's practical. What's missing from this industry is practical help. If you do not have experience creating source documents from scratch, would you recommend starting at clinicaltrials.gov? Mm, you need a protocol to do this. I think you can do it with a schedule of assessments to practice, but you won't have your source documents perfect until you know the protocol backwards and
There,
forward.
but there are many protocols online that you could practice with. In fact, we use some of those with the students for the students to create the source documents.
There you go. So if you need more help, reach out to Monica. Source document creation is done by using protocol, consent, and contract if you can get a hold of it. Um, okay, so let's go through more of these. As a CRC at an academic site, we had tons of help from the CRO sending source doc templates, which made my job a lot easier. However, as I apply to entry level CRA positions, I really want to familiarize myself with creating source from scratch. Yeah, there you go. What Monica just said. Um, People are networking in the comments. This is awesome. You guys can just network with each other. Start from there. If you don't have anyone to network with,
That's something
start
that
there.
I wanted to add on. So in the
Right.
meantime, while you're interning and getting experience, you should start looking for a job too, right? If you want to speed up that part. So uh, the first thing that you need to do is obviously create a professional presence online. So start networking with people, let's say in LinkedIn, setting up professional social media accounts. Obviously, LinkedIn is one of those. Sharing articles about the industry you want to break in. So let's say obviously research, and in this case, let's say you have a special um interest in a specific therapeutic area. So start sharing information about it, creating posts, asking questions about it, and maybe tagging people that you have seen in the social media that talk about the things that you want to. I mean, the industry or the therapeutic area. um, I will also start reaching out to people in LinkedIn and checking out their background, and maybe start commenting on their post and start creating that presence, and that people remember about you. And then later on, when you feel ready, then hey, I'm looking for a job. This is my LinkedIn. This is my CV, and obviously do a very nice introductory email.
You don't even need to wait till you feel ready. So I ran a poll. It was a week-long poll on LinkedIn. It was about 100 votes, right? They I put, have you, if you're a job recruiter or a hiring manager, have you, somebody's at my door. But I put a poll. Have you, as a hiring director or a job recruiter, ever hired someone just based off of their comments that they put on LinkedIn? So have you discovered somebody that you interviewed that you ended up hiring based on their LinkedIn comments? 37%, and these are hiring managers and job directors, put yes. 37%.
Okay.
All right, and this is just infancy of this kind of stuff. Like 37% is a lot. Okay. Here's a question. We got to get practical now. Priscilla from Brazil, living in Michigan. That's a hell of a culture shock. And near Indiana. Hey, Rod Raphael, here you go, man. Rod Raphael in Indiana. I'm an RN nurse from Brazil. I would like to know, as can I start to clinical research in the United States? Monica,
Of course, reach out to me. In
that
fact, now that we're mentioning that the CRC Academy next class will start in February, registrations are open. So please feel free to reach out to me. LinkedIn, email. My email is monica at the clinical trials at the crcacademy.com. Please feel free to reach out to me.
all right. And if you were Priscilla, an RN from Brazil, what would you do as far as like approaching sites in your area? Like, what's the best
Well,
way to go about it?
okay, well, she has already a background in healthcare, right? And on top of that, she has a second language, so she speaks Portuguese. I will make sure my CV has that, and emphasize the experience, which therapeutic area, and of course start looking for this site. Since she has a RN background, she could be doing like pre-screenings. She could be helping reviewing the inclusion and exclusion criteria for the different protocols, and helping find out also patients, because she has the healthcare knowledge, so she can talk like maybe to a doctor explaining with her background, uh, uh, what are we looking for, which patients are we looking for, and that stuff. I mean, your skills are completely transferable, and the majority of people have skills that are transferable to research.
Okay, here's an example. Melissa Preciado. I'm always looking for individuals with strong analytical background. I work closely with biostatisticians to begin doing preliminary analysis on our retention efforts. Aggregate data, of course. There you go. There's people in the comments. You don't even need to go beyond live streams like this to find. Jesse says, is it possible to figure out what type of studies CROs are handling before virtually stepping into an interview? Sometimes
Yes.
the website and therapeutic focuses are extremely vague.
Well, I think the only way to go is looking at their website. So the pipeline, what they have in the pipeline, and the articles and stuff that they have, because a lot of these CROs or the or the pharmaceutical companies have many posts in different platforms besides their own website. So I will Google.
If it's the big CROs, they do every indication, right? So it's impossible to know what you're being called in to interview unless you know the name of the person that's going to be interviewing you ultimately and what department they're in. Some people are focused at the big CROs on oncology, CNS. If they're smaller CROs, sometimes those smaller CROs are niche CROs, like they do only derm, they do only rare disease. So there are ways to figure it out, but you got to become a detective at some point. Um, Stephanie says new sites can benefit from all-in-one site solution like Creo, where we can help you through many issues such as create your first e-source for you. That's correct. I use Creo. I use Creo and Viva, and yeah, Creo is really good. I don't think we're switching from Creo anytime soon. You know, the e-source is amazing, and the CTMS and all those things integrated there. It's a really one all-in-one site solution. I love Creo. Technology and driving patient centricity. This could be an hour-long thing. This is an abstract. This is an idea. This is not something like practical. Now, if you want to approach sites and say, "Hey, I've studied patient centricity. I know what can help retain sites. I will I will help create a retention program, recruitment and retention program for you for free. In exchange, I just want internship experience, blah blah blah." You're onto something, but you need to come with like real things, not just these abstract terms like patient centricity. Because what does that mean to you, Monica and Chris? Patient
Mm,
centricity, it means nothing.
no, no. I mean, I would.
Means
If
caring
we're
about the
talking about,
patient. Everything
yeah,
centered around the patient,
yeah. If we're
which
talking about, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry, Monica, which is all kind of BS, as these studies are designed without any patient centricity in mind. I mean, if they were genuinely designed with patient centricity, the studies would be very simple for patients to accomplish and get patients enrolled in the studies, and neither are true.
That's actually true.
There you go.
Yeah. Now that um, we're talking about technology, like Dan was mentioning, like learning different tools, like for example, Viva or Creo. In my case, I use eClean Pro, which I love too. Those you can go and learn some of, or watch some of the demos and understand that platform, and maybe offer them, hey, I know you're using, I know you might use, or I've been learning about this platform. uh, I don't know if you're using already electronic services, but if you learn the different ones, you can explain them and help the site to do because oftentimes the sites don't transfer from paper to electronic, because the whole is kind of hard. It's a hassle to do it, to transfer all of that. But if you already come with that knowledge, I mean, you could also offer them to help to transfer that, or to make the transition. So like I say, you could go and take a look of these websites.
Hmm.
Again, VivaVolt, eClean Pro, Creo. I don't. There are many out there, so go and take a look on the eSource providers.
Well, we're almost done, but there's Chris has a new fan. So there you go, Chris. Dr. Villegas is he says, right on, Chris. New fan. Subscribed.
Hmm.
Dr. Villegas would subscribe to you if he was able to. But Chris is not on anything, so he's not able to. But but look, all jokes aside, okay?
Subscribe to Dan.
Yes. Think this comment from Melissa, human-centered design, think about community scientists. This is true. So here's another advanced. Okay, let's say you're a foreign doctor or a nurse. I don't know, like this person from Brazil that just posted, right? Where is this lady? Where are you?
Or somebody from United States that have a PhD or a master's that
Whatever.
wants to transfer transition.
That's right. Whatever the case may be. Let's say, oh, well, my skills are better than passing out flyers. Respect. I know they are. Check this out. You can find sites in your area that focus on therapeutic areas of interest that you are a specialist in. Okay. Let's say it's osteoarthritis. You can break down complex science topics like this one that my Instagram guy is doing. Can type 2 diabetes be cured? This is not IRB approved, but we have diabetes studies going on. And he puts stuff about type 2 diabetes. Look, type 2 diabetes results from the body's ineffective use of insulin. You can do something like this based around your therapeutic expertise for sites in your area. There's no rules from IRB stating that scientific knowledge needs to be IRB approved. It's recruiting for specific studies needs to be IRB approved. If you're educating a community about something like type 2 diabetes, you can do that all day long. So you can approach sites and say, hey, in my background, I'm an expert at type 2 diabetes, particularly insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance. I will just make posts for you all day long about this stuff and position your site as the center of this dialogue, and I'll manage it all in exchange for blah blah blah. The rest of the stuff we
Even
said for the whole hour.
even creating a blog about it.
Exactly, guys. So the point of all this is, all right, there's no shortage of things you can do, but it's about will you do it? It's not about strategies. It's about will you do it?
Yeah, it's not about just sending, applying for jobs. It's working towards it. I mean, finding a job is a full-time job, and you need to put yourself out there, and you need to expose yourself and expand. Again, think about it. It's your whole career. It's your future there. So you have to make the effort. If we could do the interviews for you, we will do it, but we cannot be
No,
with you
I
in the
wouldn't.
interviews.
I wouldn't do the interview for you, even if I could. I don't like those interviews, and I don't think anyone likes it either. But it's not about what you like; it's about what you're willing to do for your career.
Yeah, well, get prepared. Get prepared.
Do something. Do
Hmm.
something is the point. And with all that being said, that's it, guys. Any major plans for 2023? Um, just continue writing the momentum. I was checking my email. I got another Alzheimer's potential study for one of my sites. Why? Because of clinicaltrials.gov study leads that we get from DSCS Site Services, which, by the way, I haven't outsourced anyone to follow up with these leads, so I'm doing it myself. That's something you can reach out to sites too and say, hey, you know what? I can reach out on behalf. Not me. I already have a few people in mind, but this is a big market, guys. Go out there and get it done. Any last words from Monica or Chris? Chris, we have to call Casey.
We do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we should do it live, but I think it's a sensitive topic.
Okay.
Last words. Come on. Wake up, guy. What
We
are you
have to
doing?
call
Oh.
Casey. Last words. We have to call Casey. That's
Yeah, we got to. Yes, this will be live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Miraculously, I
Yes.
got it lined up with Facebook.
Yeah. So, I mean, the last words again, get prepared, educate yourself, Make sure you organize and strategize your new career. And like we were mentioning, the academies are open for recruitment. The CRC Academy is open for recruitment in February, CRA January, and the CTA is also going to be open in at the beginning of March, as well as the data management, and the clinicians academy is also going to be open for class. Registrations are open for all of those.
Excellent. Chris Sauber, any last parting words? Since you're not on social
Um,
media that often, you might want to use this as opportunity to get in everything you need to that you've been missing out on
no,
social.
yeah, I don't think I miss out on anything. But so I would just leave with let's see, what is it? Failure is the mother of success. So you have to try.
Wow. Chris turning into philosopher. This is good. This is great, guy. We need to unpack that what he just said. So everybody, look, like, subscribe, comment, share. We try not to waste your time. Dr. Monique Carr said, I have just joined. I came to know about it now. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Catch you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.